subpoena that was signed by the magistrate in the name of M. Pretorius. Who is that person?
That would be me, myself.
And the date of the subpoena?
The date stamp on the subpoena would be 2018-01-29.
January 2018.
And attached to the subpoena is an affidavit on the strength of which the subpoena was issued.
That's correct.
If you look on it's page 3, reference is made to M. Pretorius. Who is that person?
That would be myself. Does Exhibit P1, this subpoena, bear relation to the subpoena that you referred to, on the strength of which you testify that you drew the records as per Exhibit P? Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And if you can maybe just put the registration number of the vehicle as appears on paragraph 6 on page 3 of Exhibit P1.
The registration number is CM42HKGP.
Registration number to CM42HKGP.
Can I then ask you to refer to page 1 of your affidavit, Exhibit P, paragraph 3? How does the registration number that you've just placed on record compare with the registration number that appears on paragraph 3 of Exhibit P?
It's the same registration number, CM42HKGP.
Okay, the registration number for Exhibit PPP, CM42HKGP,
and perhaps whilst still on page 1 of your affidavit, you mention in the same paragraph that this vehicle is registered in the name of S. Twala.
That's correct.
I just want to show you a document that serves before this court as part of Exhibit JK. My lord, that will be the affidavit of Miss Pinky Fillingham.
Okay.
And page 9 thereof. It shows a certain cell phone number that has already been placed in record. Just read that cell phone number on record.
The cell phone number will be 276080404436.
There's a cell phone number Miss Fillingham, the Nkandla, is
276-080-40436.
number leo itwa 27608040436.
And that document J in brackets 1 shows the name of the person in whose name that cell phone is Ricard. Can you just put that on record, the name of the person?
First name is Selo and then surname will be Twala.
And just below that, the physical address of the registered owner appears, or the person in whose name the cell phone is Ricard appears. Is that correct?
That's correct. The physical address will be number 4, Heidelberg Road, extension 6, Glen Vista, extension 2, Johannesburg.
lapha ke kuthiwa indawo la ihlala khona ikheli lakhe number 4 Heidelberg Street eGlenvista.
And then just to come back to your affidavit, exhibit triple P, on page 1 of your of the report, the tracker report. The very first entry there appears an address at 053454 on the 24th of October 2014. What is that address? Can you just place that on record? The location.
The location on the trip log for 053454 will be Helderberg Place, Glenvista, Johannesburg, Gauteng, South Africa.
So ikheli elivela lapho ke emgqini wokuqala uHelderberg Place Glenvista Johannesburg Gauteng South Africa.
Now, what is your comment regarding the RICA, the address on the RICA information that you've just placed on record, and this address that appears on the tracker report?
Both of them are Glenvista, Johannesburg area, so it's the same area.
Athi indawo yethu ngoba zonke lezi indawo ziseGlenvista eJohannesburg.
And the street address?
That will be Helderberg Place, Glenvista, Johannesburg, Gauteng.
Athi ke lapho umgwaqo usewodwa uHelderberg Place.
Thank you. Can we then get back to where we stopped on Thursday in respect of the tracker report? Exhibit triple P. In light of the fact that Mr. Ngumi, one of our colleagues took ill, perhaps we should just start at his request. On page 45 of exhibit triple P, there's chip number 74 on the 26th of October. If I can then just ask you to turn the page over to page 46. At the time, 18:57 and 29 seconds. Just place the details of the trip log on record again.
At 18:57:29, the trip log shows that the vehicle is moving in Kutlanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa.
So ngo-18:57:29 ngibonakala sengathi imoto iyahamba emgwaqweni uKutlanong Street ose-Vosloorus.
I just want to show you a document which says as Exhibit O in brackets 1. There's the affidavit of Lieutenant Colonel Stein, who has already testified. And these are the downloads of the cell phone number that you've just placed on record. Page 44. Page 44. That will be page 44 of Exhibit O in bracket 1. Just read that, place that portion that starts with download in the middle of the sentence.
Download summary of cell phone 27608040436 Longway Twala. Remember plus 2 hours.
Thank you.
Sake lana ke ufingwa ukudownloada okwenzeka esofonini u-0608040436 ulongwe Twala kuthiwa ke khumbula bese kuthiwa ke 2 hours.
If I can then ask you to turn to page 46 of the same exhibit, triple O in brackets 1. The very last entry there, a message from this number that you've just placed on record was sent to a number 074-676-6669. At the bottom of that page, in the column, there's a date. Just put the date on record.
The date will be 2014-10-26.
Kuthiwa lapha usuku oluvelayo lapha umhla ka-26 enyangeni ka-October 2014.
And just place the time on record as well.
The time will be 04:57:36.
Isikhathi-ke u-04:57:36.
If you add the 2 hours, as you've just placed on record in terms of page 44, what will then the time be?
The time will be 06:57:36.
Bathe uma senzela-ke amahawu amabili isikhathi kuzo-06:57:36 kwimizuzwana.
If I can then refer you to Exhibit Triple J again, the downloads, I'm sorry, the section 205 of the very same number that you've just placed on record. If you can place the cell phone number and the time as well, the first entry that has been highlighted with an asterisk.
The cell phone number will be 276080404436.
Yes, and the
Number go 276080404436.
and the date.
The date will be 26 October 2014.
Usuku-ke umhla 26 October 2014.
And the time.
The time will be 18:57:35.
Isikhathi-ke u-18:57:35.
The other party, the cell phone number of the other party.
The other party's cell phone number will be 277467666669.
Manje-ke lenye-ke inamba exhunyana nayo u-074-676-6669.
Can we then get back to the trip log? On the 26th of October 2014 at 18:57, just place the particulars thereof on record
On the
at
trip,
18:57:29.
on the trip log, 18:57:29, the vehicle shows moving Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa.
Isikhathi-ke sika-18:57:29 imoto ikhombisa ihamba ku-Kutwanong Street eVosloorus.
Now, how does this time that reflects in the trip log compare to the times that have just placed on record in respect of the cell phone downloads of that number, as well as the section 205 that you've just read out?
The times are the same.
Lezi ikhathi-ke zibonakala lapha ku-trip log nalezi zibonakala ngalena kumafoni zibonakala ziyisikhathi ey'fanayo.
Thank you. You can then proceed to the next entry at 18:58.
At 18:58:34, the vehicle shows ignition off, Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa.
Manje isikhathi sika-18:58 nemizuzwana engu-34 imoto ibonakala icima isemgaqweni uKutwanong Street eVosloorus.
Yes. Oh, yes. Did you place the status on record, sorry? Good. Yes.
Yes, the vehicle shows ignition
Ignition
off
off,
at 18:58:34, Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Imoto ikhombisa icima ngo-18:58:34 isemgaqweni uKutwanong Street eVosloorus eGauteng.
Now, if we can just go back to Exhibit 01, the downloads of the cell phone that we just referred to at 18:57. Can you just place the SMS that was sent to that number that you've placed on record, 074-676-6669? The message should appear just next to the date and the time that you've placed on record.
The message says I'm outside.
Umlayezo lapha-ke oya kule number 074-676-6669 uthi-ke ngingaphandle.
Now, there has also been an exhibit Triple J, in brackets, Triple J 7, in brackets A, So it's exhibit triple J 7 in brackets A on page. It's a document that was handed up by Ms. Pinky Fathiligan of Vodacom. It shows tower locations and distances. If I can just ask you to, there appears an address at the top of this exhibit. Just next to sites, there appears an address. Just put that address on record right at the top.
Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus.
Ngeke livela lapho uKutlanong Street eFosloras.
And the number, the street number.
13511 Kutwanong Street.
Inumber ke 13511 eKutlanong Street.
Just look at the ones. There should be another one there. Just place it again on record to the address.
Physical address of site will be 1816 Ramotlo Street, Spruitview.
No, the address that you've just read into the record, just read the details again in the report.
Okay,
Kutlanong Street, yes.
that will be 13511 Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus.
Thank you.
Inumber ke lapha ethi 13511 Kutlanong Street eFosloras.
Thank you. And it's described as what in that document?
In brackets, it states crime scene.
Manje kokufakiwe lapha kuthiwa indawo yesigameko.
Thank you. We can then get back to your affidavit, exhibit triple P. You had just placed the trip lock at the time 18:58 and 34 seconds. Can you then proceed to the next entry?
The next entry, 1900 hours and 14 seconds. It shows ignition on Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus.
Esikhathi ke 19 hours namizuzwana u14 ikhombisa lapha ungathi imoto yastartwa lapha iseKutlanong Street eFosloras.
Yes, next entry.
Then the next entry shows ignition off 1901:28 Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Sithi isikhathi ku 1901:28 ibonisa lapha imoto yaphinde yacinywa futhi. Isemgwaqweni uKutlanong Street eFosloras.
Yes, next entry.
Next entry shows motion, ignition off, GPS unlock, 2043:34 at Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
So lapha 2043 ikhombisa lapha uthi imoto iyanyakaza. Kodwa ke ukhiye usacinyiwe and iyabonakala ukuthi i-GPS iyavuleka kodwa sesekubona lo mgwaqo uKutlanong Street eFosloras.
Yes. Next entry.
Next entry, vehicle shows ignition off at 2043:44 at Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Ngesikhathi esika-2043 imoto ikhombisa ke ukuthi icinyiwe isibona lo mgwaqo uKutlanong Street eFosloras.
Yes, next entry.
Next entry, the vehicle shows ignition on at 20:46 and 13 seconds. It shows ignition on Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Manje kuyabonakala lapha isikhathi u-20:46 and 13 seconds. Lapha imoto isekubona lo mgwaqo uKutlanong Street eFosloras iyakhombisa ukuthi ke imoto ke ukhiye usukhanyisile.
Yes, next entry.
Next entry, the vehicle shows moving at 20:46:31 at Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Njengoba isikhathi sika-2046-31 imoto ikhombisa lapha isibona umgwaqo uKutlanong Street eFosloras kodwa manje isiyahamba.
Next entry, vehicle shows moving at 20:46:40 at Leseding Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng, South Africa.
Manje ngesikhathi sika-2640 imoto ikhombisa ukuthi isiyahamba yanyakaza emgwaqweni okuthiwa yi-Leseding Street khona eFosloras.
Next entry, vehicle shows moving 20:46:54 at Moagi Street, Vosloorus, Gauteng.
Ngo-2046-54 imoto ke ikhombisa ukunyakaza ukuthi iyahamba iseMoagi Street eFosloras eGauteng.
Thank you. Just remember to place the speed at which the vehicle was moving on record as well.
Next entry, the vehicle shows moving at a speed of 24 kilometers an hour at 20:49 2000 at Mohagi Street, Spruitview, Katlehong.
manje imoto ngo-2049 ikhombisa ukuhamba ngesivinini sika-24 amakhilomitha ihamba-ke kuMoagi Street eStraightview eKatlehong.
Next entry, the vehicle shows moving at 28 kilometers an hour at Leseding Street, Vosloorus at 20:49 and 30 seconds.
ngesikhathi-ke so-2049 and 30 seconds le moto ikhombisa ikuseLeseding Street oseVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini esingu-28 kilometers.
Next entry, the vehicle shows moving at 24 kilometers an hour at 20:49 and 41 seconds at Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus.
lapho ku-2049 nemizuzwana engu-41 imoto ikhombisa ikulo mgwaqo ukutwanong Street eVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini esiwu-24 kilometers per hour khona lapha eVosloorus.
In other words, the vehicle returns to that original address that you placed on record earlier on at 1857.
That's correct.
so imoto ibonakala ibuyela kuleli khele ebikukhulunywa ngalo ngalesi sikhathi sika-1857 ekutwanong Street.
Yes, next entry.
Next entry, vehicle is moving 26 kilometers an hour at 20:51:50 at Kutwanong Street, Vosloorus.
imoto-ke ibonakala ihamba ngesivinini esiwu-26 kilometers per hour ngesikhathi sika-2051 and 50 seconds isekuwona nomgwaqo ukutwanong Street.
Yes. If I can ask you to first start with the time and then start on the left and move to the right, just to make it easier to follow. Yes.
At 20:52:01 at Leseding Street, Vosloorus, vehicle is moving at 20 kilometers an hour.
ngesikhathi sa-2052:01 imoto-ke ibonakala ikulo mgwaqo uLeseding Street oseVosloorus hamba ngesivinini samashumi 20 amakhilomitha.
At 20:52:34 at Leseding Street, Vosloorus, vehicle is moving at 20 kilometers an hour.
ngesikhathi sika-2052 nemizuzwana engamashumi 34 imoto isekuLeseding Street eVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini samashumi 20 amakhilomitha.
At 20:55:34 at Nombela Drive, Vosloorus, vehicle is moving at 69 kilometers an hour.
ngesikhathi sika-2055 and 34 imoto-ke ikulo mgwaqo kuthiwa uNombela Drive eVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini sika-69 kilometers per hour.
At 20:57:30 at Sam Sukwati Avenue, Vosloorus, vehicle is moving at 24 kilometers an hour.
ngesikhathi sika-2057:30 imoto ibonakala ihamba ngomgwaqo uSamsukwati Avenue eVosloorus hamba ngesivinini-ke sika-24 kilometers.
At 20:57:33 at Sam Sukwati Avenue, Vosloorus, vehicle is moving at 13 kilometers an hour.
so-ke ngesikhathi sika-2057:33 kwemizuzwana imoto isakubona lo mgwaqo uSamsukwati Avenue eVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini sika-13 kilometers ishumi nantathu.
At 20:57:50 at Sam Sukwati Avenue, Vosloorus, vehicle shows moving at 15 kilometers an hour.
so ngesikhathi sika-2057:50 imoto isekuwona lo mgwaqo uSamsukwati Avenue eVosloorus ihamba ngesivinini esingu-15 kilometers per hour.
At 20:58:02 at Sam Sukwati Avenue, Vosloorus, Gauteng, the vehicle shows ignition off.
ngesikhathi-ke sika-2058 nemizuzwana emibili imoto ikubona umgwaqo uSamsukwati Avenue eVosloorus kodwa-ke ikhombisa lapha-ke ukhiye usicinyiwe.
I just want to show you an extract of the section 205 of the cell phone number that I've just placed on record earlier on. It's page 4632 of exhibit J1. If you can just place those particulars on